Thank you, Elaine. Okay, we're going to talk a little entertainment now, as nearly 20 million Americans watched the Oscars on Sunday. This is actually up from the previous year. So many eyeballs on it this year, and many of us are still talking about who won and also those speeches that followed, which is where our next guest comes in. Mike Ganino is a storytelling expert and a keynote speaker and helps many others with their keynotes. He's here to break down the best Oscar acceptance speeches, and then also how we can maybe apply some of these practices to our own keynotes. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You were watching Sunday night.
Of course I was watching. I was glued to it, and then I was watching it live and then going back and watching it online to see, like, what did I miss and what were the moments. Yeah, it's a fun night.
I want to walk through it with you step by step, maybe some opinions on who won, but then also what they said after. Which speech for you took the Oscar, I suppose, for the night?
I think there were two for different reasons. The first was, I think, Zoe Saldana, when she walked out, and immediately when someone walks out and they have so much expression, and she said, "Mommy, Mommy."
Yeah, she did. She cried.
She cried, and she's looking for her mom in the crowd, and it just, I don't know how you watch something like that live and don't feel immediately connected to that person. And then to have that historic moment of being the third Latina in history, and the first one, by the way, who wasn't playing Anita from West Side Story. Ariana DeBose and Rita Moreno were the same character they won it for. So really cool, iconic moment. And then I think the other person who stole the show, and certainly everyone's talking about.
Everyone's talking.
Adrian Brody. He really took his moment.
He took his moment.
A lot of moments. The longest in history. It was the longest. He holds the record now for the longest one. So she was breaking records, and so was he.
Was it too long? Do you need to read the room at that point and be like, okay? Like, they tried to play him off, and he was like, "I've been here before. Stop."
And right away, they have the timer counting down, and so he saw that and was like, "Up, I see that. I'm going to keep going." I think sometimes these speeches, when they're just a list of thanking people without any context, it can become a little dry to watch. And so in the end, where he had this message of coming together, I thought that part was so beautiful, and it would have been a great way to start.
And he's won an Oscar before, so maybe you're comfortable now. You've been up there before. Maybe. I don't know if that ever gets old. Who had the most heartfelt thank you, do you think?
I think these heartfelt moments are really about giving context to the people who are watching, and then also, like you said, reading the room. And this is a room of storytellers and filmmakers. So I thought that Sean Baker, winning for director for Honora, he got up there and he talked about all the theaters we've lost during COVID, and how there are so fewer theaters to go see a film at, but that's where we all fell in love with movies. And I thought, what a way to tap into who's in the audience, who's watching, and to remind all of us at home who were watching and rewatching that get back out there, go back to those theaters. And I thought, while it wasn't an emotional moment, it was really heartfelt because it really set the tone for what we should be thinking about.
Okay, but I need your opinion on, he brought, as we were just showing everybody, a piece of paper up and basically just looked down and read at the piece of paper. Do you recommend that for your clients?
I think it's twofold. I think there are moments where we are giving a really high stakes speech. And there's an element that we want, I think as audiences, we want it to feel spontaneous, but also that you thought about it. This is like the biggest night of your life. I like thinking this person prepped, We saw a lot of people pull out their notes and make sure they got to the right people. And I think there's something nice about someone being ready and knowing that in that moment they're gonna have so many emotions. And to say, this was so important to me that I thought about it, I think it's nice. And I also think if you are someone who's giving a speech somewhere to your employees and you have notes, acknowledge it. Make it a feature. Say, I'm going to read these notes because I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Call it out because we notice it. So why not name it?
Use it as like your prop. Okay, real fast. We have 30 seconds for each. Who won for the best body language?
I thought Mikey Madison. She was so poised, so elegant. She reminded me of an old Audrey Hepburn. She stood there, she held this, and her voice carried through as well.
I mean, she had notes, but she didn't just read it. I like that part. Okay, and then humor. I don't know how you pick anybody else other than your pick.
This entire award season, it goes to Kieran Culkin. This guy he also was the character from A Real Pain the whole time. So he was up there, he was thanking Jeremy Strong, and there's been this whole contention between them because of the show they were on before. He was thanking, mentioning people in the audience, and then the whole bit with his wife and having the babies. How fun.
We'll see if he ends up with 4 kids down the road.
We'll be counting.
Yes, go watch it if you don't know what we mean. You can learn so much more from Mike. He helps so many people. Go to MikeGanino.com to learn more and sign up. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.